are live. Welcome back, everybody, to the Powerstroke Tech Talk podcast. This is number 15. We have a bunch of returning dudes here and a newcomer, TJ. Big shout out to him for joining us tonight. Welcome back to everybody else who's listening. This is something that we're kind of getting used to doing. We like talking about power strokes and how they, affect our lives and, our situations and our families and what everything we got going on with our super duties. So right off the rip, we're going to let TJ kind of talk about his truck, see what he's got. If he's got tiny Super Duty, big Super Duty, DS size Super Duty,
not quite.
See what
Are
he's
you
got.
saying that in regards to DS about like he's a little guy?
That's a big girl.
He's got a big girl.
That's a big girl.
It's a big girl.
Yeah, I've got a 19 350 single rear wheel, crew cab, 6.5 foot box.
Color?
I bought it brand new like 14 months ago, coming from a Duramax. Basically, I have the XLT premium package. So it's cloth interior, heated seats. I did put a Lariat steering wheel in it.
Oh,
I couldn't stand the other steering wheel. And it wasn't so much what the material was made from, it was how much larger it was. It didn't feel as well, as decent as a Lariat steering wheel.
What color is it?
It's the gray.
Oh, okay.
Exterior with the light gray interior.
Okay.
And then I did, of course, the WeatherTech mats, backflip cover. I put the tailgate assist in the tailgate because it didn't have that from the factory.
Okay.
Came with the Bliss.
The little strut.
Yeah, the little strut.
Okay.
Yeah. Front of the bumper, I guess, on the right side there.
Yep.
I did get 4Scan and did the Bambi update there. Put the heated seats on the touchscreen on the sync. What else did I do with that? Oh, I put my depth gauge on there.
Oh, okay.
The next thing I'd actually like to do is to go to the Lariat cluster. Because I think it's an 8-inch screen where mine's a 6.
Okay, you got that one.
You can get more gauges on there compared to what I have. So I put the depth gauge on there, and then the DPF percentage on there as well.
So you got halogen lamps, right?
Correct.
But
yeah.
Bliss.
Yeah. But Bliss. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I wish I'd have known better, I would have absolutely got the LED lights.
Does it have the Fat Man step in the tailgate?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep, it's got the backup camera, and then it's got the camera up in the third brake light.
Oh,
which is nice for backing into the fifth wheel.
Yeah, I bet.
I didn't have that before.
So you probably got a spray and bed liner then, right?
I've got a bed rug.
Oh.
A rug.
Yeah,
a rug.
Yeah, I'm
good,
on the fence.
Good for RV.
It's not bad. It's nice if you got to climb up in the truck and crawl around in it. I don't haul like gravel or anything crazy. All I really use that truck for is for, your basic home improvement stuff, hauling stuff around, and then my fifth wheel. So I don't know how it would be for like a contractor, but for what I use it for, it's pretty decent so far.
Yeah.
Like, get over here.
How do you like that bed step, the extended running boards? Do you use that a lot?
Oh, so I don't have the extended running boards. I have the tailgate step.
Oh, okay.
I wish I had the extended running boards, because when you're trying to get something out of the front of the bed, like a 350 single, that's a tall truck. I'm only 5'9",
sure.
So believe me.
I ordered a set, and we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. I know I'm gonna like the utility, but I don't know. I hope it don't look goofy.
No, but you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
I guess if you don't have it, you can get one of those steps that kick out, like one of the ones like Amp's got one, the small one that kind of tucks away. You can't see it.
Sure.
It comes out. That might be a better option.
I think they'll look good on your truck, especially being an 8-foot bed.
Yeah.
I think it'll look better.
I think it looks sweet with the Salter in the back. I mean, it's just you got the plow. Wait till you guys see. Well, this is going to be way after this airs, but or way before rather. But for you guys on here, Tuesday's video is going to be DS's trucks, and my thumbnail is his truck on the hoist with the plow and the Salter. I mean, it looks pretty sweet. It's just
I
a
haven't even
piece of equipment.
I haven't even seen that video.
I didn't send that to you yet, or the thumbnail for that.
I saw the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Look at my shoulder. What is going on?
Oh wow.
Dude, why are you twitching?
He's got that green screen.
No, it looks like I'm doing something bad.
Oh, it kind of does.
Here, no. See, guys, there's nothing going on.
His camera's glitching.
I decided
magnetic gray. That's what it's called. I couldn't think of it. It's magnetic.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that's
I
a good
love
color.
that color.
Yeah, I like
the
it.
color my focus is in, and I love that.
How many miles are on it?
20. I just turned 23.
Okay,
Woo.
and now what tires? Do you have the Michelins?
No, I wish. I have the Wranglers.
Really?
Oh.
Only complaint.
Really?
Tires.
You don't like them?
No, I like them as far as traction. Like, they're good in the snow. They're not loud or anything. I think it's probably because I tow a lot, and I rotate them every oil change. So every 5,000 miles.
Yeah. Are you doing them side to side, or are you doing? Front to back?
I do. Yeah, I run the drives forward and cross the steers backwards.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't do that. Maybe I'll start doing that because
I don't know if that's the way to do it or not.
I do not like my Michelins.
As long as you're crossing,
you don't like the Michelins?
I do not like my Michelins. They're wearing like crap for 8,000 miles. I mean, I have rotated them twice now, and it's like I haven't rotated them all. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Do you have a lead foot?
No, I mean, I'm just
dude. It doesn't matter.
Normal.
My Continentals have been great though. Like but I got a 250 gas, so maybe that's the difference. But they've been so good. They wear so good.
I'm not saying those Michelins aren't good, but they're not. That's the biggest complaint we get from our customers.
I wonder
is how those tires wear.
The next tire that I would honestly be thinking about getting, and I know they'd be expensive, is BFGs.
Dude, but
I don't know.
I get the same.
I hear they wear.
BFGs
I hear
they wear terribly.
Really? I got a guy at work has 50,000 miles on him, and I'm like, oh shit! If he's getting 50,000 miles,
maybe it's just the way that one of our customers runs their entire fleet.
I had good luck with
really?
BFGs.
Well, no, their entire fleet, other than their 550, runs BFGs, and we're doing tires for them like every 30,000 miles.
Wow.
I think that's a good question.
But they must be plowing or doing some kind of hauling.
Oh, they're a telecommunications company. They're doing literally like all highway miles.
Really?
I mean, mine aren't wearing funny. They're wearing evenly, and they're not chopped or anything like that. They're just wearing quick.
I don't know if with the Michelins, if it's just because they have so much siping in them that they just chop really bad, or what it is. But
I think that's a good question.
That really weird feathered wear to them.
People who are watching or listening, you should let us know in the comments what is your tire rotation regimen? Do you guys do like TJ said? Do you switch the drive tires up to the front and then swap the steers to the back? Do you just do front to back? Do you have some superstitious rotation pattern you do?
I mean, I guess I do.
I
always cross the non-drives and then move the rear straight up. So front right will go to left rear.
So pretty much how he does it.
Right rear, and then I just roll the other ones up.
Yeah, that's how.
I've got a question for TJ.
What? Sure. You go outside.
So TJ, you've turned a wrench before in your life.
Yeah, not like these guys, but I try. I'm not a career by any means.
But you're mechanically inclined.
Yeah.
What kind of oil you run in your 350?
All right, guys. It was. Oh, thank you. I almost walked out. All right, so next time you change the oil, try the Motorcraft 540 severe duty, and let us know. Reach out to A-Rod.
So I was intrigued when I saw the video that
Sean's gonna pay for it,
and he did the 540 synthetic on your 450.
You saw that one?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it was like last week or something. Did you? Where'd you see it?
Aaron put the video.
It was on your channel, I believe, right?
Oh, you saw it on mine? No kidding.
Yeah, I follow your channel as well.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. So
what do I think?
My only question is, like, what do you think your interval is going to be?
It's
I know you have a lot of lower mileage travel from what you've said, but
it's still going to be 5,000 miles or 200 hours.
Okay, so that's
yeah. Well, I think with these Super Duties, you don't want to really push it past that, especially for severe duty.
Oh, I pissed it off.
For sure.
Because of the contamination in the oil.
So I got something to add. I got firsthand experience, and it's funny that we started talking about oil. I just worked on a 2005 6-liter today, dump truck. Ooh, you can see his face.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on right now.
Swap
Potato
back.
cam.
Swap back.
Let's see if it works. Man. Oh, I pissed it off.
Hold on, it'll do that when you switch back.
No, I pissed it off. I'm telling you, I pissed it off.
Oh man. Well, while Matt figures out his camera issue, we'll continue. I had opened up the 6-liter, and I had to do 8 injectors and glow plugs and such. It looked brand new. I couldn't believe it.
That is amazing.
I had asked him, I'm like, hey man, what kind of oil have you been running? He says he's ran 5W40 in this since it's been brand new. He had 160,000 miles on it, and those were the original injectors.
Wow.
I'm like, huh.
He probably gets the same fuel all the time. And
which 5W40 was he running?
He says I have 2 oils on the shelf. You pick what you want. There was Motorcraft and Rotella T6.
So he was running either Motorcraft or Rotella?
He's got a 19,550, a 14,450.
That is amazing.
And
that's amazing.
5,450. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was leaking oil. I think like the rear crank seal maybe was leaking. But
you'll have that with synthetics.
Both valve covers
at those miles. I mean,
I'm just saying synthetics are more likely to leak.
Not uncommon.
It's more likely to leak with synthetic.
Yes,
I disagree.
I disagree with your disagreement.
Why would it leak more likely with synthetic?
Explain, Sean. We're not getting into this. It's the same thing with why synthetics burn more.
Why do synthetics burn more? Why do they burn more? They have a higher flash point.
Right, but it's the fact that all the oil molecules are the exact same size and can't provide the best seal possible past the rings and valve guides and everything.
I've never heard of that. Do you have any publication that says that the molecules are the same size and they can't seal the rings? I've never heard that before.
I will contact my engineer friend that works for Pennzoil.
Yeah, you should get him on.
Get it in writing.
We've been wanting. No, get him on the show. I've been wanting to get an oil person on the show.
We need to get that oil guru.
Yeah, let's get an oil guru on the show.
No, I can see her in the video. I'm like sitting here looking, turning my head, waiting for the dog to come to the door.
All right. I don't know. So TJ, you had a Duramax.
Yeah. I had 3 different ones.
You're with a Powerstroke. 3 different Duramaxes.
Yeah, from over the last 10 years, probably.
Go away.
My earliest one was an 06.
I had an 04.
Well, that's what? That's an LB7?
Yeah, the 06. Oh, LBZ. The late 06.
My first truck.
I don't know.
Yeah. My first truck was a 2004 GMC Sierra.
It's not going to do it for me.
That was a great truck.
All right, man. Potato camera it is. All right, so what are your pros and cons coming from a Duramax to a Powerstroke? That's my question.
Ooh.
All right.
Well, he already said he liked the cab size, so that's right off the rip right there. Yeah. Come on.
That's
Mother trucker.
Even my
Zoom
kids
is not responding.
Do you think it's taller to get into compared to the Duramax?
Yes.
Like overall, just getting into, like lifting yourself in.
Yeah, and actually the overall height of the truck was taller. So I had a 7-foot door on my garage door. When I bought this truck, I brought it home assuming it would fit in my garage. Because unfortunately my driveway sloped towards my garage, which normally the truck is under 7 feet, so normally it would fit in without a problem. but being the slope towards the garage, it wouldn't fit. So I had to raise the header in my garage because I wasn't gonna I didn't want it to sit outside.
Dude, how did you do that? Because I've been thinking about doing mine.
Well, I didn't personally do it, so I hired somebody. Yeah.
Was it a pain in the butt?
You know what? Actually, they did it in 2 days. You know, they cut the old header out. They cut up through the siding and insulation, put a new header in, raised the I had to go with the new garage door, of course.
Yeah.
So with the new garage door, does it have to be raised to a certain amount of inches, or are doors kind of like custom?
So you can I'm not a garage door guy, but I think you can go. You don't have to go from 7 foot to 8 foot. I do know that. There's something in between, I believe.
Really?
And I just went to 8 foot. That way,
I gotta go to the next. Yeah, I gotta do that to mine.
That's awesome.
No problem now.
That's awesome. So. That's a good idea.
Was it really, really expensive, or was it kind of straightforward?
No, it wasn't bad. I want to say it was under $3,000. With a brand new door.
I didn't
think it was terrible.
That ain't bad at all.
I mean, to keep your $70,000 truck inside.
Because that's where I'm stuck at right now. I mean, it fits in here, but it's like this, bro.
Yeah. So if you drive over any ice or snow or something,
I'm not putting no different tires. It fits how it sits.
Right.
So perfect. I mean, as soon as I get in here, I got 10-foot ceilings, but it's like, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like just go. You're 8 feet. That would be.
It wasn't any more money to go to 8 feet, so it was like I might as well just put the bigger door in and be done with it.
Yeah, I got to look into that because my garage is so simple. It's like it's just studs. Yeah. So I don't foresee it being.
Yeah, if you don't have a finished ceiling or anything like that,
nope,
it's so much easier.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you have to like redo drywall or anything inside the garage?
No, luckily in that area I didn't. No, it was good. So when they cut out the front, they had to raise 2 trusses, and then obviously raise your garage door opener itself up higher and mount it higher.
Right.
But other than that, and they had to move a bunch of conduit from my electrical and stuff. But
whatever, that's what they do, right?
Yeah, they did a good job. And stuff.
No kidding, that's awesome, man. I got to check that out because that's definitely something I had thought about. Because we had just moved here. And I had never had a garage that had drywall inside. So it was like, I got someplace to hang my license plates,
and obviously you've got a heater too.
Yeah.
Being that you're sitting in there in the wintertime.
Yeah, I got.
Nice. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, one of my customers hooked me up with one of those hot dogs that hangs from the ceiling.
Yeah.
My brother does heating and cooling, got his own HVAC company, and none other better to install that for me. So that was cool. Definitely, what is it right now? 68. So I'm in the garage. I got my garage queen. Well,
so you're
Ford.
Slightly a GM. You obviously, you have a Tahoe, right? Or
yeah, it's a Tahoe. I mean, it was at the time. So when I got it in 2010, I wanted to get another vehicle, and I wasn't going to get anything with the 5.43 valve because it was around that time where it was like, I'm not getting anything that's going to have spark plugs breaking on. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. And I didn't know what people did for a living to have a Super Duty, and I wasn't going to have a Super Duty. And there wasn't really anything else that I wanted. Like, I wasn't going to get a Taurus. I'm not a Focus. I wasn't going to get a Fusion. Like, well, all right, well, let me look at GM. And I'm like, well, that Tahoe is kind of cool.
Right.
And then, boom, I got one and have had it ever since. And just recently, it's gotten a little cooler. But, I mean, it just usually sits in here and...
You don't drive in the winter at all, right?
No.
I will say this about the GM trucks. I'll give them credit where it's due. Their gas V8s are pretty good. The push rod, I had a 6-liter.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was bulletproof.
Yeah.
No, it was just, 180,000 miles, just no problems out of the engine. Like, and it just ran pretty much new.
Yeah.
As it did when I got it. So
after doing everything I did to it, I wish I had the engine you had, the 6.0, but I mean, it's got the
5.3.
Honestly, my 6.0 only had 300 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque, but
it worked.
Like, it worked. It was great, and it towed good. It had good fuel economy, but What got me was the GTO had like 400 horsepower, but I don't know how to. I guess they had more compression. I don't know. I wanted that kind of power.
Yeah, different valve train maybe and cam, tune.
Maybe. Sure. Yeah, probably all of that stuff.
I wonder where Matt said his computer because it crashed. That's what you get for running Apple, boy.
Well, now that Matt's not here, I do want to bring this up before we go on. Now,
bring it up.
We were talking about switching over to 540, and out of all the things I've done to my truck to try to make it better, I have to say switching to 540 was probably the most noticeable improvement to my truck. I've tried the fuel additives, the anti-gel, the cetane, I'm thinking like, am I gonna notice anything? It's like
after seeing that 6 liter, I don't know, man. I'm kind of.
I know it's free, but hey.
I mean, I don't know about free, but it's.
If you can have
540 is gonna be.
Well, I know the 1030 is a lot cheaper, but if you can have a clean engine, I mean, how much is an engine?
And I think 540 might be my choice, man.
I'll tell you this.
Like I just saw real world experience today.
Out of all the things that I've done, when I start my truck up, it literally runs different. Like it runs smoother. It starts easy when it's cold. Like the pour point of 5W40 is just so much colder. Like the Shell Rotilla is like negative. Shell Rotilla pour point is negative 51 degrees. The splash point's really high. And
it's like, do you run Motorcraft now, or are you gonna run?
I want to try Shell. I want to try Shell next.
That's what he used. He had 6 gallon quarts, 6 gallon containers, up on his thing, and 6 Motorcraft ones. So I don't know if he's using one for one.
Good.
I mean,
the Motorcraft 540 is good. Like just with the Motorcraft 540, it runs so much better. The turbo, you hear the turbo whistle a little better. You get this little, and I wasn't hearing that before. It's just like the whole valve train is just less clattery, less noisy, chattery. It's cut down. It's just like nothing else has had any noticeable. Like I could stop putting fuel additive in. It's not doing nothing for me, I don't think.
TJ, I know you said you guys had some you guys do your own maintenance at the fire department. What kind of stuff do you guys use? Are you guys using Motorcraft? Are you guys?
Yeah, we use all Motorcraft. We run 1030 in our filters, oil.
What are you guys doing to change it? Are you guys doing it hours? Or are you doing miles?
5,000 miles or 200 hours.
Okay.
So we typically, like, the ambulances hit the hours first because they do a lot of idling.
I mean, somebody's checking that, making sure you got a sticker on it. People are being cognitive of that.
We have our own sticker machine. So we make stickers. Our guys are real good about it. We also once a week, the whoever's in charge of the station that day on Mondays emails the maintenance division the mileage and hours. So then we can look every week and see, because the ambulance is idle. Quite a bit. So they hit their idle hours before their miles. So
what do you got? Like Luma duties? You got 11 through 16s or what?
We've got 2 16s, and then we've got our only Illuma duties are 19 that we just got a year or so ago.
Okay. So what a medics or
it's at Horton.
Oh, okay.
So it's got a Horton box on it. They're 550s, 4-wheel drive.
I got a 550, an 18 550 down at our body shop that got in a wreck, and it needs a frame.
Is it an ambulance?
Yeah. And they want me to take the box off of it so that they can take it back down to the body shop to replace the frame. I'm like,
dude, the ambulance box?
Yeah, bro.
What would scare me is the wiring going from the box to the cab.
Oh my gosh.
That's all.
I see underneath. I see. He smiles. I said, I see. I don't know what in the world's going to go on. I mean, it can't drive. The front of the right front's all shoehorned in. So
have you seen the severe duty recommendation from Ford?
In the owner's manual.
Isn't that weird?
I think I've looked it over. Yeah.
It's like it makes you it wants you to do 540 for like anything that's remotely close to being severe. Like, unless you have the most perfect non-eventful drive to work on perfect days, 1030. Anything stuck in traffic, dusty, hot, if it's over 100 degrees, like, how do you control that? Like, it gets over 100 pretty much everywhere in the country, right? At some point.
Well, just about. Maybe not as often, but sure.
Right. Like around here, it may be a month. You might touch 100 for like a couple weeks out of the year.
Look at them. Look at them stats. Look at them stats.
What does that say?
Look at them stats. I put a post on YouTube asking how many of my 18,000 subscribers would like to live super chat with PTT. Said let me know below. 67% are saying yes, they would like to ask questions about their truck and talk to me live. I think we might have to arrange a possible feature that would be live on YouTube. I think that'd be cool.
All right.
I wonder if you can put this live. Oh, you didn't miss nothing. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Guess he's gonna have to wait and watch podcast number 15.
Just have to wait a couple months to figure out what I missed.
Oh, I'm telling. We were just talking about TJ's escapades at the firehouse with his super duties and how he maintains them. What rigs he's got. He's got a couple of 11 through 16s. And a 19 rescues.
I wonder if I even dare trying to switch to the GoPro right now.
Try it.
No, just stay how you are, man. You look fine.
Yeah, after I got ripped a new one about having a freaking camera that looked like it had 10 years worth of fingerprints on it.
That was my brother.
I didn't notice, man. I did not notice. Maybe can you just scoot it backward a little bit? Because it's kind of close. Just scoot it backward. Like, scoot it away from you.
I can't go back any further. I'm to the wall.
Oh, we're already pulled over. We can't pull over anymore.
All right, here we go. Full send.
Send it. And
this is why you don't use applications that are in beta on a weak computer.
Mine's beta.
So your last GM truck, what year was that? Like, were they comparable?
I think so. It was a 16.
Oh, okay.
It was
comparable. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember if it's somewhere around 400 horse. I think it was an LML. I think.
That's good. That's comparable.
Any of them?
L5P.
Now they're at what, 450 horse? So.
Yeah, I think the new ones probably. I think they're all in the ballpark, right?
Yeah, they're pretty much all in the ballpark.
All right, I pissed it off.
Any of those rigs that you got at your work ever been to the dealer for anything or ever had to get any warranty repairs?
Yeah, a couple. The 19, no. It's only got probably 10,000 miles on it or 9,000 miles on it. But
check now that you say that, check the oil cap. I'm just doing my best friend who's a captain at our local one. Check the oil cap. Let that thing get up to operating temperature. Matt's been doing a whole bunch of them. Pull the oil cap off while it's idling and see if it goes poof. If it wants to blow off, you got to replace that CCV box. Just because it's got 10,000 miles on it, but check them idle hours. That box, I bet you, is just heavy, fat, sweaty Betty.
You know what, too? So, like, I wanted to bring this up, and I know Matt, maybe you don't want to talk about this, but this was on my mind. With that CCV, some of them have filters, some of them, I think the newer ones don't, right?
He just crashed again.
Oh man!
Well, he sent me a text in all caps. He is pissed.
He's got to work out his technical difficulties. How's he crashing? He doesn't even have his camera hooked up.
Oh, I'm rolling, bro. That is so funny. I'm like, you're gonna have to do it from your phone, homie.
You should just leave that camera off.
So like with the CCV,
what are you doing?
like I wonder if if you're running synthetic, do you have less like burn off?
That's a good point.
From oil by itself going through the CCV? Because I was thinking about it.
That higher flash point, like you were talking.
Yeah, when we talked to the guy who was on last time, he was saying on his, I think he had a 19. He's got all these miles. Never did a CCV, and he didn't have any issues with.
Oh, Julian, yeah, the dude from Texas. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm thinking, how is that possible? He has like he had like over like 130,000 miles.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I run T6, but if you're flashing less oil, maybe you clog that thing up less.
That's a good point.
That's just my theory. I don't know.
That's a good point. Well, maybe you know how you said, what were the requirements? Remember, we were just looking in the owner's manual for what it constitutes severe duty, and it says if you use severe duty, you use 5W40, and it was like having a snowplow on it, carrying 1,000 pounds, doing city driving.
Operating the vehicle and its gross vehicle weight rating.
It's like everything, just it's being like, normal, you'd be constituted severe duty. So I'm telling you right now, after seeing that 6-liter, which is my second favorite to the 6.7, 160,000 miles, original injectors. I didn't take any footage of it. I was just trying to get in and out.
That would have been a great video. Was that today?
Yeah, it was today. It was.
You were saying you were going to some guy's shop to some landscaper or something.
Yeah, I was blown away.
You should just go back.
Well, I'm not going to take the valve covers off again.
Why not, man? Make a great video.
Like, bruh. Yeah, I forgot something in there.
If I got a warranty, an injector maybe, but yeah, it was definitely cool, and it kind of made me. I mean, it's got me thinking about maybe going to 540. I don't see why not. DS is running it.
I'm telling you, as soon as you do it,
I want to find out about this Schaefer's. I want to know what that's about. I don't know anything about it.
My dad has a 6-liter, and he runs that in his.
Does he really? I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know where to get it. I don't want to know about it. I know about AMSOIL, all that shit. But.
I like AMSOIL. I just don't get I'm not going to pay. Don't quote me because I still might do it, but I don't want to pay more money for the materials than it costs for just me to have. I could literally have you do it for me and use Motorcraft. No, I know AMSOIL is a little better.
Oh.
Oh, nothing. Oh, nothing. You didn't miss nothing. Don't worry.
What if that is perfect? That was a perfect.
We were just talking about that oil that causes engines to burn it. The synthetic. Out of all the engines we've seen, how many people have said, "Yeah, my truck's got 200,000 miles and now burning oil because I run synthetic"? How many times have you heard that? Oh yeah, those molecules are just burning.
I mean.
I wish you could see my face right now.
He's giggling like a little bitch. Just
turn my GoPro's really hot.
Maybe that's why.
Something to do with it.
Turn just the camera on the computer back on.
But then I already got Sean throwing heat at me, and we had.
Why don't you just get your phone, man?
We had a meeting saying we weren't going to talk about oil because the viewers want some new content.
Turn on your phone. Use your phone.
I'm going to chuck. I'm literally going to make a video of me chucking this computer out the window.
Whoa.
It's time to get a new.
That's TikTok for you.
Maybe it's time to get a new one, man.
Let's check the stats out here.
It'd be awesome.
Where are we? I had asked a question here.
February 1st.
Unity.
Dude, we talked about so much stuff. We talked about so much stuff when you were gone.
February 1st. Computer will be here.
Oh, we don't like. That's my wife's birthday, by the way.
Okay, let's see.
Which I need to do something.
All right, we're going to Plan B. Plan B.
I need to think of something cool for her because there's a lot of shit she does that probably goes unrecognized by myself because I'm constantly busy, and I need to come up with something for her. So,
dude, I got
people watch this. You should ask me if she had a good birthday. So,
I got nothing.
I don't want to be a loser. I gotta think of something.
What do you think, TJ? What's a good present or gift for your significant other?
And I'm the wrong guy to ask that.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe
I'm terrible.
This whole COVID is just totally cramping. You can't go out to eat. You can't have people come over. It's just really putting a hindrance on everything. And then look, the temperature is cold. You can't be outside and you can't go park, can't go barbecue. You can, but it's cold. It's just
brutal.
It's just this time of year, and being in the Rust Belt, anybody knows that the struggles you got to deal with the season change and whatnot. It's
like after you've been married for a long time, it's hard, man. It's like I don't buy nothing. I don't do any presents anymore. I don't do gifts anymore. It's like we've been together too long.
Yeah,
10 years.
Yeah, us too.
Yep. Well, it's she let me get the truck.
I remember you saying you got the green light on the Super Duty.
It gave me the green light.
Don't listen to me, because it's been a process. I've got my wife on board. It didn't happen overnight, so don't listen to me. You got to do something. You got to do something.
Yeah, you got
it.
Oh, there you go.
I know she had that sign made for you. That's kind of hard to beat.
Yeah, that's sweet.
A good girl. Look at Millie. I guess
what's this?
Now that Matt's back. There we go. Good job, Matt.
My life is complete.
That's better. That looks better than
Matt.
Everything.
What'd you do, Matt?
What did I do? I grabbed my phone and I put my AirPods in.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, that looks way better.
Matt, let me run this by you.
Oh my God, Sean. I'm gonna slap you.
We had a guy on last week. He has I believe it was a 19 Super Duty with like 130,000 miles. And he's talking about his CCV. He's never serviced it. He's never done anything to it. He's not had any problems. And
that's because it's a pickup. We're not arguing this.
No, he's not. It's a pickup, but he runs all over the country. He runs it hard. He works it. He runs utilities.
Is it the cab and chassis that have all the issues with it?
Yes.
It's every engine that we replace at work is a cab chassis.
Now,
I have replaced pickups. I have replaced pickups very, very seldom, but it's all cab chassis.
Do you think it's how the vehicle's used, or is it?
I do. And
it's both.
Yeah.
Because we have pickups that are idled just as long. I just don't know if the CCV system's different. I'd assume it uses the same filter, but.
Well, they don't have filters now, so I just actually I am there's a video going to be coming out the 22nd of January, or has already out when you guys watch this, talking about the CCV box. I had a bad one in front of me. I also had a good one in front of me, and the SPE CC delete, the internal catch can, that little cheese grater one. It was just
I can speak on that being a good kit.
I'm highly thinking about it, just for the fact that seeing that 6-liter today, but knowing what that CCV is doing. I know it's for emissions, but when you take the intake manifolds off these trucks and the CAC tubes, this is some really carboned up spots. And I don't know if it's coupled with the temperature and then it just snowballing and compounding the oil over time, and then it just coagulates and starts forming these big carbon walls. I don't know if I want that on mine. I don't know. I think maybe.
I think your EGR is your bigger problem than CCV, but.
Yeah, but you know
how many trucks do you pull an intake off and it's just like that thick on both walls.
Oh,
of the,
I know.
The
and then
intake runners.
I was gonna say the other thing. When you take the lower intake off, you take the big rubber boot off, the turbo inlet, and then
there's oil sitting in the
yeah,
bottom.
like I mean, come on. I know, I know it's normal to have oil up in that system, but the amount of oil, or you take the cac tube, or even if you take the intercooler off, take the intercooler. Like, come on, like that's not.
Dude, have you ever had some where you pull the cac inlet tube off? You know, from the turbo to the charge air cooler, intercooler, whatever we want to call it, right? And it looks like there's like a rubberized coating inside of it because it's just been blowing oil through there so much.
Have you ever had those leak coolant and drain the secondary?
Yeah. Like completely pressurize it and almost shoot the cap off.
Wow.
No, wow. I think I've had one intercooler that I've had to, take that back. I think I replaced two. One that was leaking internally and then pressurizing the secondary system, and then one that I had a efficiency code for.
Yeah. The temp code or something.
Yeah, the correlation.
Yep.
So have we covered TJ's issues with his Duramax?
No, not really.
That hasn't been a thing.
We started talking about pros and cons, and I think all we got was the larger cab on the Ford. The depth fill on the Ford is a lot nicer than, and I know I think the new GMs, it's with the fuel fill like the Ford, but I hated that I had to open the hood. And it's on the passenger side, and it was a pain.
Yeah, I could only imagine if you had to open the hood and lift that jug, if you were using jugs or the pump. But if you had to lift that jug up all the way up there, that'd be kind of like
pain.
I do know when GM did that was a purposeful thing, so they didn't have. There's no risk of accidentally putting the hose in the wrong hole,
right?
And then having a catastrophic failure. But
I didn't. My biggest issue was when the CP4 let go, and being.
So this is an interesting question. So you worked at a GM dealer, is that what it was?
Yep.
Did you do diesel at all? So
no.
Okay. But from my understanding is that the Dodges and the GM trucks don't run, you could say, a lift pump per se. Correct. So it's just the pump that has to prime
the valley
the
of the motor.
Itself.
Right. Yep.
Right. So you have to move all this fuel from the tank to the high pressure pump, and it has to do it itself, which would mean it's
working.
I'm sure
hard
they have a one-way. Right, but I'm sure they would have a one-way check valve or something to keep some amount of fuel in there. But every start, you're basically wearing out the lobes.
Yeah.
On the pistons, you could say, because if those that don't know the way the CP4 is designed, or you could just say the high pressure pump on a 6.7, what we'll say CP4 because it's the same across all the manufacturers and the trucks, is you have a crankshaft that has lobes on it, right? And then you have pistons with like a roller on the bottom, but there's nothing to hold it in place. So if you have a lack of lubrication or whatever, they can sit there and spin, or the roller gets seized, whatever. But we don't see that on the Ford trucks. So
unless water gets in.
Right, but
or gas.
When we're looking at that, it's more like you have a drivability issue because you pull a pressure control valve off and you see there's rust below the O-ring, and you're like, oh, water has ran through here, or DEF has ran through here, whatever.
All right, so check this out. I'm going to.
So you had that issue. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, A-Rod, but
yeah.
A big selling point that I always hear people say about Duramaxes is that they have an Allison in it. Yeah. Which trans do you like better? If you could tell a difference.
Yeah, for sure. And I couldn't tell the difference until I was loaded with my fifth wheel and in the mountains, because I remember being, and I put 50,000 miles on the Durham, 60,000 miles on before I got rid of it. And the pump failed at 11, but going through the mountains and the way the engine brake works with everything, the Ford seems more efficient. Like, and it doesn't hunt gears. My Allison would jump.
You've got a 6-speed,
5 to 6. Yeah, it's a 6-speed.
Now I got a 10-speed. I have a 10-speed and a 6-speed, and the 10-speed's cool because it gets a little bit more final drive, and it's a little bit lower too from burst. But the 6-speed was better.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, it never had a weird shift. It always went through the gears, and you never felt anything. You never felt nothing. Now with the 10-speed, sometimes you're like, wait, what was that? Like, what did it just do? Like,
wait, what?
Like, I mean, how many miles? You have what, 3,000 miles on your truck, Sean?
Almost 4.
So it's probably still learning. And
yeah, right? It could be. But adaptive strategy usually turns off by like the first 500 miles.
I've had 3 of these now with 10 speeds between F-150s and 6 speeds. The 6-speed is just simpler, and it just works a little better. Now, if you're towing with a 10-speed, it's a little better for towing. I never felt anything weird while towing with a 6-speed. It's the normal driving that really kind of weirds out the 10-speed. Every once in a while, you get a shift that doesn't seem like it did the right shift. But other than that, the 6-speed
I've never driven one. Never driven a, what is it, a 20? They went to a 10-speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't driven one.
Well, it depends what for the intents and purposes of this being a Powerstroke channel. Yes. If you were running a 6.2, then you would still have the 6-speed. In 2020, at least.
It was cool in my last 150 because it would shift. Like, if you put it in sport mode, it would just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the shifts were real firm, and it was great. But the 6-speed is more refined. It seems like, just because it's simpler and it's tried and true.
Well, I mean, I guess part of that too is they've had a 6-speed out for 10 years. Yeah. So I'm sure in subsequent years they'll get the adaptive strategy to do things a little bit different, and they might just have programming hiccups because I don't even know if I think they've released one TCM update so far. So,
but it's interesting how the final drive is relatively similar to the 6-speed. It's not like you're gonna like get all this overdrive out of the 10-speed.
No, I mean, it's just in between gears is what they really added. And if you look at the trans visually, it looks very different just because the trans pan is now plastic and they put the trans cooler under the bell housing now. But visually inside, because we had one of our trans techs had to replace a 10-speed, he said it basically looks the same.
Yeah, I mean, you got planetary gear sets in there, and to add
I think they added one more clutch pack, but even it's basically all the same.
Pass me that bubbly.
So wait, so you got stranded with the GMC?
Ooh.
Was it GMC or Chevy? What happened?
GMC.
What happened when you got was it pretty bad?
Well, yeah. So like I said, the truck had 11,000 miles on it. We're at Disney's campground, Fort Wilderness. So I've got a 39-foot fifth wheel, and we were down there, and my wife was driving the truck when it happened. She calls me and she's like, "Your truck just shut off." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean? Start it up."
What do you mean?
Yeah. And it just cranks, wouldn't fire. And it was right in the entrance of the campground. So we go, I was with my kids. I grabbed my kids. We go out there, and the fuel filter on those is on the passenger side up high, and there's a bleeder there. I crack it. It's got fuel, but it obviously didn't have pressure. But it would crank and crank and crank. And this guy walks up and he's like, "Hey, I'll give you a hand. I'll go get my truck and we'll pull it off the road." Well, at the time he comes back and he's got a brand new 450. I'm like, "Listen, pal, there's no way I'm letting you pull my truck off to the side of the road."
But, man.
We push it off.
Insult to injury.
Yeah, right.
You didn't let him pull you?
No, so by the time he came back, we had already pushed it. Their security wasn't going to allow me to block the whole road for a while.
Okay.
So they tow it to the nearest GMC dealership that had a diesel tech, which was in Orlando.
No.
They had it for, 3 days before they even knew what was wrong with it. Now, keep in mind, we were like 4 days from going home. And so my loaner car was like an Impala, so I'm not moving my trailer with that. So luckily Disney was cool about it, and they made arrangements because they're always booked, right? And we were stuck there for another week, and then it was probably, they had told me that the pump failed, sent shrapnel into the fuel rails, knocked the injectors all the way back to the tank, shrapnel all the way to the tank. So they had to flush everything, put 8 injectors in it, put a pump in it, replace, and there was probably, obviously the fuel filter. There might be some other things I was forgetting.
Had you gotten bad fuel or something, or what?
So I'm pretty picky about that stuff. I always, when I'm on the road, I go to truck stops. I try to hit a Love's, good fuel, number 2, in my mind, and high volume, right? And
right.
They did not say that it was bad fuel. I'm assuming that they would have mentioned that, whether or not I'm assuming they'd pull a fuel sample, but they 22-hour job, and
that was not under warranty.
They warrantied it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It was. I think they told me it was like a $14,000 warranty claim.
Wow.
Yeah. And they ended up putting a radiator in the truck at the same time. They told me the radiator was leaking. Yep. So I picked it up like a week later and put 1,800 miles on it back home, and it was okay after that. I had a minor coolant leak, and I brought it to the dealer here, and they found a hose that was leaking. I don't know if it was anything related or whatnot, but didn't have too many issues after that. Yeah, they did. And actually GM they reimbursed me for some of my losses for being there for a week.
Oh, wow.
Did they? So, yep. So they were solid on that.
Wow.
I can't see Ford. I don't know. I don't want to speak bad on Ford, but I wonder if Ford would do that.
I don't know, man.
No, I can speak on it. They will do it.
They will? Okay.
I was just reading a thing today.
They will do it. Especially for commercial customers.
Sure. On one of the Facebook pages today, the Super Duty one, the guy had a 19 with 20,000 miles on it, and it spun a bearing or something.
Oh yeah. I did.
They made like 3 or 4 of his payments. And they
gave him a warranty, a maintenance warranty or something.
Maintenance plan, and I thought that was pretty solid.
Heck yeah.
No, Ford definitely. I'm not saying GM or Ram or anyone else doesn't take care of their customers, but some of I shouldn't say some of them. I just had an engine job, ironically, on a 19, because I'm not going to go out here and say that 19 has engine issues, but this one spun a rod and shot the rod straight through the bottom of the oil pan and windowed the block. Yep. Oh yeah. But that was a bucket truck, and they, to my knowledge, Ford.
He should have run 540.
Dude, the thing had 7,000 miles on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, what was he running?
Did you pull the cab?
1030?
I don't know. It was a fleet, so my best assumption is they were just running 1030. I mean, it was a telecommunications company, not the same one that I usually talk about. This was a customer we don't see very often, but it was a 550 bucket truck with a crane on it, and to my knowledge, oh yeah, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. Bravo to all the companies that upfit trucks, put cranes, whatever, and are starting to put DC pumps on their trucks, so that if there is an issue, you can still run the hydraulics, right?
That's awesome.
So all I had to do was like flip a switch.
Yep.
And I could raise the boom up, set it back far enough that I could get the cab up in the air.
That's awesome.
Yank the engine. It just made my life easier. It was less billable time to Ford, so it saved them money from being able to do that. But anyways, getting back to it, to my knowledge, they paid for a rental truck.
Wow.
Oh, really?
For that company.
That's no joke. That's a big, yeah.
And then another thing Ford did, we had a vehicle that would not kick the fan clutch on, and it wasn't a wiring issue. It wasn't a pin fit issue. The PCM wasn't grounding it. Well, this was at a time when the PCMs were basically on like indefinite galactic back order. You couldn't get one. Ford ended up buying back the truck and then crediting that so the customer could get a 2020 and paid for the upfit.
Wow.
No,
which is pretty cool stuff.
That is. They must be buying a lot of trucks, man.
I think they bought. I mean, I couldn't put a number on how many trucks that customer has bought from us, but maybe it had to be with we were the number one volume dealer in the Midwest for commercial trucks. I don't know.
Oh wow.
We send trucks literally everywhere. It's I can tell you one thing. People in the Virgin Islands like their aluminum wheels because I put a lot of aluminum wheels on trucks that go down there.
There's nothing like your truck. There's nothing like your truck breaking down when you're with your lady. Oh man.
Yeah, that sucks. Dude, especially if she was driving it.
She was upset. She's like, I can't believe for what we spent on this thing that
for real.
I'm like, you know what, everything breaks. What do you?
Yeah.
Well, shit. If that was the 14 or whatever, because what the Elf? I mean, someone can correct me, but what did the L5P come out in 2015?
17. Because that was a 16.
Oh, okay.
That was an LML. Yeah, I think 17 was the L5P.
But shit, you'd think they'd have it figured out by then.
To my knowledge, and I don't know, but I think it's the same pump with no lift pump or anything.
Right. No, they all use Bosch fuel systems across all three of them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're literal. I don't know if all the injectors are the same, but I know they all use the same CP 4.2 Bosch fuel pump.
I just had to order a left-handed fuel rail, and it wasn't on back order. So that's cool.
Really? Because we haven't been able to get contamination kits.
2 days.
And I also saw on the tech forums, now viewers, granted, this is the Ford tech forums.
We need to talk about that because I can't get on. You need to tell me how. Later.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah.
I'll tell you afterwards.
I'm writing that down.
One time, guys, I was with
because you need to see the funny stuff that goes on there.
One time, guys, I was with this girl, and I took her out to the movies.
What was her name?
Her name was Joy. I took her out to the movies, and I wanted to get the mood just right. All right. So I turned on the radio. I was listening to like rock music at the time. The music starts playing. I starts nodding my head. Just the engine's running. It's like 10 degrees outside. Music starts playing. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, smoke starts coming in through the vents.
Come on, for real?
Was it a 6.4?
He was burning that synthetic oil.
It was a 6.4.
Shut up, Sean.
What size was that? It was like a 4.6 or something. But smoke starts blowing through the vents.
Oh my
God.
God.
Like, Sean, your car's smoking. I was like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. What are you talking about, baby?
It smoked the idler pulley and smoked the belt and sent like belt fumes right through the vents. Filled the whole thing with. I had to call my parents to come pick us up. Dude, it was horrible. Oh, then I had to go fix the car the next day in the snow, laying on my back, just. It was my 92. It was my 92.
Dude, burnt rubber does not smell good.
No. Well, if you're doing a burnout.
It lingers too.
Okay.
Like, what's the worst?
You got like an AC compressor clutch that burns itself up and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So what's the worst like repair horror story that haunted you? Like you're trying to fix this car.
Define. Like
you couldn't figure it out. You couldn't figure out what was going on. Something broke, like a stud broke or whatever. Like what's the worst? Maybe you were like new.
Okay.
You're new to the business, less experience.
So I was doing. What was it? Oh yeah. Okay. Classic. Brain glitch of a customer, which I can't sit here and shit on people. or anything, but they had put def in the fuel. And I think this truck was like an 11 or a 12, something like that, right? And, pull everything off the front of the truck, put the new high pressure pump in, pull all the lines off, pull the rails off, get injectors 1 through 4 out. And this is like an 11 or a 12, maybe it was a 13, 6, 7. Go to injector number 5. Got my ratchet on there, and I'm just pink. Son of a bitch. All right, we'll go to number 5. We'll go to number 6. Starts coming out. It's getting a little tight, so I tighten it up a little bit. And I worked this thing back and forth for like half an hour. Put heat on it, dude. Spraying it down. Pink.
Broke?
So I get to number 7. I get to number 7, right? And I'm like, you son of a, I swear, if you break, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm about to act a fool if something happens on number 7, right? So I get to number 7, comes right out, right? So I get to number 8, wiggling it back and forth, pink, without even trying. So I had to put 3 inserts. And thank you, Bill Lieb from ProMax for overnighting that kit to us.
Got it.
I don't know what we would have done without you.
Hey, Rod.
Well, I do know what we would have done. We would have put a head on that truck.
Yep.
But those are things we can't control.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, that's.
What about you? That's not too bad. What about you, A-Rod?
Well, I just felt bad for the customer because now I have to charge him to pull the valve covers off and do all that stuff. And it's like, he wasn't planning on it happening. I wasn't planning on it happening.
Right.
Dang.
What about you, A-Rod?
I had a truck. It was probably back in 2005. It was a 2003 truck, and
was it a 3 or a 3.5?
It was a 3.
So it was a 7.3.
No, it was a first 6.0.
Oh, with the ICP in the back.
Yeah. Took me a month. Now, mind you, this is like when I was just green, just going on my own.
It's about to get real.
Had it for a month. I had to put a crankshaft in it. The timing gear peg sheared off, and the gear on the front of the crank had spun on the crank. So I'll never forget it. It was tag 280.
Oh, shit, he still thinks about the tag number.
And I'll never forget it. It was an experience.
Yeah.
Knowing's half the battle. I remember plastic gauging in school. I had to plastic gauge and make sure everything was.
You've told me about this.
Yeah, that was that truck. It was.
Yeah.
It was experience changing.
I remember plastic gauge in school, engine building class.
Now, mind you, we don't do a whole hell of a lot of that kind of stuff today because we're not rebuilding engines because the most cost-effective thing to do is, throw a short block in it or.
Right. Let the machine shops handle that, or Ford with their reman or whatever.
Right.
They don't want us to send it out.
Yeah.
What about you, TJ?
Oh man.
It could even be like in your backyard, your own car,
My own stuff?
It could be.
Well, that was pretty shitty that his shit just took a dump right there in Disneyland.
Yeah, that's
happiest place on
sucks.
earth. Happiest place on earth, and it just dies.
Like, what'd you tell your kids? Did your kids understand?
Oh, they were happy. We were staying for another week.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
They were excited.
Right?
They were excited. They're like, oh, Dad's brand new
TJ's on the phone with
Dad's
General
truck just
Motors
broke
like, yeah, guys, this is awful. I don't know what I'm going to do with my kids. I guess I'm just going to have to take them to the park again. They really want to go on Magic Mountain, and I can't tell them no. Like, what are you guys going to do about this?
There's so many things that come into it. Like, my wife had to go back to work. You know, like, we were planning on being home on our date. You know, I had to arrange time off at work because I was planning on going back. It was.
Oh my God! Did you guys get fired?
No. Well, we were able to work it out, and we got to.
Okay, cool.
What are you gonna do? You know,
if it were me at Ford, I would have been fired. At Ford,
yeah,
they wouldn't want to hear any of that.
Yeah,
but it's a big company. You know what I mean? They'd be like, eh.
Yeah, I think if that happened to me, they'd be like, yeah,
they'd
all
be
right,
cool.
Matt. You know what?
They'd be cool because it's a smaller thing.
We've got like, oh, you're not going to be here. All right, we'll just add like 7 more oil pans to the list for you to do when you get back.
Oh man!
All it did was give, like, because a lot of the guys I work with are Ford guys, right? And I came there, and I was the GM guy, and so it gave them some ammo against me. And then the one guy, actually, A-Rod, I was talking to you about him. That probably got me into the Super Duties. He's got an 11, and it was always like one of my real good friends, and it was a constant battle with us back and forth. The Duramax versus the Powerstroke, and
okay.
It was just more ammo for him, So,
Ooh,
all your other coworkers.
Question for you.
What's that? All the other ones, what?
All your other coworkers, did they have Super Duties or?
We've got a few. We've got some Rams in the fleet. We've got, like, our coworkers have. We have got a few Rams. We've got a couple Duramaxes still.
Okay.
But when I first came there, I think I was the only GM, and it was all Super Duties, or F-150s, or something along those lines.
Word.
Hey,
they were the majority, at least.
Before you get your question out, I want to tell my war story.
Okay, I want to hear this because I
don't know
if you shared this with us before.
I've got hundreds of them. But do you want to hear the one where I blow up the engine, or the one where I overheat the engine?
Both.
Either one. I'll just tell one. I don't want to.
Okay.
All right. So I'll tell the blow up the engine one. All right. So.
Was this a car, a truck, or a lawnmower?
It was a car.
Okay.
I didn't work on that many trucks. I worked a couple, but not that many. It was a Civic. It was my friend's car, and I was working on cars. Like, I would do like head gaskets. I would do timing belts and stuff, but it was my own stuff. And I swear, I thought I was the best mechanic in the world, dude. I thought I was the best one because I would work on my own stuff, and I was the man and all that. Whenever I worked on something different, though, it was kind of like, So he wanted to save some money. He blew a valve. He blew an exhaust valve on his Civic with like 200,000 miles.
Burned it up, or
it just had a crack in it. Like, it wouldn't. He had low compression, and I did a wet compression check and all that. I thought it was all the shit. I was like, you got a valve. I put a little oil in there. You got a broken valve. He weighed out his options.
Speaking of wet compression tests, never do a wet compression test on a diesel. Never. We're just throwing that out there.
Freaking wet burrito.
Too much compression, huh?
It'll just ignite it.
Oh, for real?
No kidding. Dude, the things run at like 18-1.
Right.
Is that what they're running, or are they like 17.9 to 1? I think that's
so. My buddy. Actually, I hope he doesn't watch this because he doesn't know the resolution of this. But he bought a head for his car or whatever. He had 220,000 crazy miles on his car, and I go to his house. It's cold. It's winter. It's like brutal outside. I'm trying to get money. I'm trying to help him. So I take the head off and everything. And put the new one on. Dude, I'm putting the head on the car, and his dad comes out. His dad's a mechanic, and he's looking over my shoulder. And he's talking shit and telling me what to do and all this. I got the manual out. I'm trying to do everything right. But one of the things he told me was right. He's like, no, you know what? I was trying to put oil on the head studs before you torque them down because it called for it. And he was like, oh, you're putting too much oil
oh, you want to barely use any oil, and then like they tell you like when you're torquing it, you don't want to hear it cinching. You want to have enough oil on the, you want it to torque smoothly. But he made me put less oil, and then he's like, oh, you didn't torque it right. So he goes, don't even pour the coolant in the oil yet, or in the engine yet, because it's gonna leak on you. If it leaks on you, you're gonna waste all that coolant. And I'm thinking like, well, I'll pour it in now because I'm gonna forget. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna forget.
But so he's like, I want to hear it start up before you waste coolant, and then you pour it in there if it leaks and all that. I go to start it up, the fucking thing won't start. It won't fucking start. So he goes, oh, you must have put the timing belt on wrong. Take it off, do it again. Dude, I fucking took that shit off probably 5-6 times, dude. I looked at everything. I'm so frustrated. It's been like 2 days. I'm so goddamn frustrated. And I'm like, fine. And I'm by myself at this dude's house like 2 days later. And I'm looking at everything. I timed this engine like 4 times. I'm looking at everything. Finally, I realized what the heck is going on. I'm looking at the manual backwards, and I got the spark plug wires backwards. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm like, I got this fucking light bulb moment. I'm like, I figured it out. I got the spark. It's that simple. Like I was looking at the distributor cap wrong or something stupid. So I go and crank it, fires right up. And I'm just sitting there listening to the engine run. I adjusted the valve lash and everything perfect. I'm just listening to the engine run. I'm sitting in the car. I'm walking around. I'm fucking walking around the outside of the car, just listening to it run. I go and look inside of the car. The temperature gauge is just going nuts, dude. It's just so hot. It's not smoking. It's smoking. There's nothing to smoke. Because 3 days ago, he told me, don't put no coolant in it. This fucking thing is so hot. What the fuck do I do? This fucking thing is so smoked. It's so smoked. The gauge is through the roof. I'm like, oh no. I turn it off. I let it cool off. No, dude. After that car burned so much oil after that. And I never said what the fuck happened. I was just like,
it's okay. Your car's just gonna have to use the corn oil.
It runs good, but it's just like it drinks oil, dude. His bumper would turn black. Good. His bumper would turn black, dude. So then, like
that's because you use synthetic.
Dude, there's nothing that can help that. So like 4 weeks later, now this is if anything for synthetic, this dude's so cheap he didn't run. No, maybe he ran Mobil 1. I don't know, but. So like 4 weeks later, he comes to my house.
I think that's killing me. You're saying you're not gonna tell the story, and now you're just calling him.
No, like 4 weeks later, he comes to my house. And he's like, "Man, something's wrong with that head, man. I'm gonna have them redo it. Can you pull it off again and do it again?" I'm like, "Oh, this shit's gonna hump me, dude."
You married to it now, sucker.
Dude, I took the head off again, and he got it redone. Warranted the head. Dude, I saw the pistons before. I saw the pistons before, and I saw them after.
Motherfuckers blue.
God,
blue is my shirt.
So loose. They were wobbling in the cylinder before. They weren't doing that. They were wobbling in the cylinder. So I got it all back together. By now, I'm a pro at his car. And dude, I went to start it up. And another thing that I didn't mention is it worried me so bad, and I worked so hard on it. It worked me to the flu. Like I was so sick. I had a straight fever. Like I got sick because I just worked on this car for like, I wasn't eating enough. I wasn't sleeping. I'm like worried about my buddy. I was sick. I was literally, I had the flu. My buddy and me. Dude, hey, I got it all. He pressured me like, you got to get it fixed. Dude, I was at my parents' house in the garage. I got it all back together. I started that bitch up without an oil filter, bro.
Oh,
that
Jesus Christ.
You ever see what happens if you start up the car?
This dude needs a checklist.
Dude, he fucking like was hovering over me. I've got the flu. I'm sneezing and coughing. And
I'm literally in the state of Michigan taking a mechanic's license.
I'm gonna have to hold the head of my prick, dude. I'm gonna fucking piss myself.
At the time, I was like 17. I had no business like doing all this.
Christ, man.
I'm like 17 years old, dude. So Dude, all of that oil. Have you ever started a vehicle without an oil filter? So you wouldn't know. Like, all of the oil comes out in 1 second.
Yeah.
All of it comes out in 1 second. I was like, oh my
God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
The whole oil sump came out of the engine within 1 second.
Oh, man.
I put the oil filter on. I got it running.
The thing is, Sean's just standing there like,
I was like, what? I get it running, dude. He gave that car to his
Well, why'd
sister.
you look at that?
Someone fucking ran
Why'd
into
you
the
look
back.
at that?
It's burning oil, now it's leaking oil.
His sister drove that fucking car for like 2 more years, dude.
Oh
Burning
my
fucking
God.
Oil, shooting oil out of the tailpipe.
Oh, Christ.
Oh man, what a horror! What a horror!
And I started that thing up, and I didn't even have the oil filter on it.
The oil filter.
Sean didn't run full synthetic. He just fucking tossed gear oil right at it.
Glug, glug, glug.
All of the oil will come out in 1 second. Like, you have to, how people say, oh, you need to fill up the oil filter. Nah, you really don't need to fill the oil filter.
It's
Trust
quick.
me, it fills up. It fills up so quick, it don't really matter.
I mean, I definitely fill up the oil filter when I do an oil change on a 6.7 or a 7.3.
If the oil filter is going to point, and then you can fill it up and do it, sure.
Well, I mean, those things lose their prime, so that's why I always do it.
Yeah.
Word.
Sean, my face hurts.
I know, mine too.
Hurts.
My face hurts too.
Dude, next time, whatever, I'll tell another one.
I'm going to have to edit this and put that at the beginning. And then
no.
No,
No,
leave
that where it's at.
You can't run from it now.
No, dude, leave it where it's at because I don't want him to know. Like, to this day, he doesn't know. As you think it's long enough? I've been waiting for the right time to tell him.
Well, you just told me.
He's still driving that.
He doesn't.
He got that thing.
He doesn't watch.
His sister. He's like,
no, he doesn't.
Damn, man. Why is this thing burning so much oil still? Well, I can tell you why. Because your pistons are like throwing a hot dog through a hallway. That's why.
He doesn't know.
Sounds like a diesel.
It's been like 12 years. I don't know if I'm ready to tell him.
Oh man, I think there's
nobody knows. Like, nobody was there. Like, when it burned up, no one was there. It was just me.
The thing
is,
is his dad still alive?
Oh, his dad's cool. But
his dad's just gonna look at him and gonna be like, I told you that Sean was bad news.
No, his dad's cool. Yeah, dude, I got so many stories. Next time, I got so many stories like that, dude.
That's a good one. I like that. I'm writing down stories. I think that'd be a good time to cut this one short. Not short, but cut this one to an end. We're rolling at hour and 20 minutes. This was good.
Leave this on the end because he likes my stuff on Facebook, so I don't want to have him click on that and be like, Sean's telling a story, and he's sitting there listening.
Just don't share it. Just don't share it.
He's just listening. He's smiling. He's like, what the fuck? That was my Honda. That was my baby. That was my first car.
What?
That was my first car.
Oh, that's so funny, bro.
Because he wanted to drive that bitch for the rest of his life. So it was like, oh, no.
Not anymore.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Well, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, and if you want to get on the podcast with all these goofballs, make sure to check my email out above my head, and we'll get you in the queue. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys later.